the High Court in Pretoria has ruled against the SANDF in the brutality case that left Collins Khoza dead in April. The court ordered that the army officials and Metro Police officers involved must be suspended. For more on this, we crossed our reporter Malungelo Booi, who is at the courtroom. Malu, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Early on we heard the family's demands of financial compensation, the dismissal of soldiers. That has since been handed down, and we've seen that the police as well as SANDF members present at the scene have been suspended, and that the family will also be compensated. Can you just walk us through what transpired as that judgment was being handed down today?
Well, let me correct one thing, Lizel. This case is really not about the family getting financial compensation just as yet. This case is really about the family seeking at least 3 declaratory orders which have now been granted. One of those orders the family was seeking was that it wanted the court really to clarify the constitutional rights South Africans have during this lockdown, and also wanted the suspension of those soldiers that were involved in the attack that left Collins Khoza dead. In fact, one of the things that the judge spoke about when granting those orders, he spoke that we have a right to human dignity as South Africans. We have a right to life, right not to be tortured and not to be punished in a degrading way. I want to bring in the instructing attorney in this matter, Wikus Steyl. So thank you so much for your time. This is something you've been hoping for from the start. The judge was explicit in his judgment, talking about South Africans having a right to life, right to human dignity, and not to be tortured during this lockdown.
That's correct, and it's a bittersweet victory. It is unfortunate that the family of Collins Khoza and us had to come to court to ensure that everyone remains entitled to their basic human rights. But we are very glad that the court made that order to ensure that the security forces know that they cannot take those rights away regardless of the circumstances.
What does it mean, though, for the South African public?
It means that every citizen now knows that he's protected. And I'm glad it was ordered that reporting mechanisms and the rights must be published so that each citizen knows that they are protected. They cannot be led around the bush by security forces trying to assault or kill them.
Another issue that has been a contentious one in this matter is the suspension of the soldiers that are alleged to have committed this crime, but also the JMPD. Now we've heard the judge saying that all of these people must be suspended.
And that's basically correct. You cannot have the soldiers that killed the man walk on the streets with the same guns. The JMPD officers that were there, if they were not involved in the actual assault, they stood around and they watched Collins being killed. They had a duty and an obligation in law to prevent the killing.
What happens now? What happens now? I mean, you've managed to get this round of this matter. What's going to happen? What's the next round for you guys?
It is important that everyone should realize that this case was not about financial compensation. It was not about money. It was to enforce rights and to protect the country and the citizens. The next step will be to include Collins's entire family that have been affected by his death, his children, the mothers of his children, to ensure that they receive the compensation that are due to them for the loss of support, financial and emotional, resulting from Collins's death.
So that will be a civil case?
The civil case is on its way, yes.
So you already filed for it, or are you working on it?
Working on it in the process.
So thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Right. Wikus Steyl there, he's one of the instructing attorneys for the Khoza family, really saying that they are relieved, but it's a bittersweet, saying that this, even though they're relieved and pleased with the outcome of the case, it's unfortunate that the Collins Khoza had to lose his life in the process.